What up, guys? Kind of PTCG here, doing a quick little sort of news update, testing update. I don't know what you'd call it, but I have found and tested a working Yveltal deck for this format. And I know I'm kind of overhyping this, but I think it's so crazy that Yveltal can still work. But it does, and yeah. So here's the list. It's not fully optimized yet, but it's as close to optimized as I have gotten it so far. It has, the worst matchup is probably, Metagross or Ninetales. The Gardevoir matchup is, like, 50-50. The Metagross matchup is, like, 45 in their favor, and Ninetales is, like, 40 in Ninetales' favor. But, so, like, overall, this is a pretty solid deck. It's really easy to beat Golisopod with this deck. Yeah, so, plays 4 Yveltal EX. If you guys have been playing for, like, since the Evolutions format, at least, you should know what this card does. For 20 damage, or for 2 energy, it does 20 per, energy attached to both active. This card is still legal because it was a promo card, so you can still play this card. 2 Tapu Lele GX. Energy Drive is just a really good attack, especially in this deck. You can easily replace an Yveltal EX with another Lele, but I use the Hoopa engine. So, 3 Trubbish. I prefer the Stomp Off Trubbish because with Pokemon where nothing, like, the basic doesn't matter at all, like, you can't attack with it no matter what, in my opinion, like, if they have the same HP and stuff too, you want to go with the one with the worst attack, because they can use something like Mew and copy it, and if it's a good attack, that's a small problem. So, I prefer the Stomp Off Trubbish. It's, like, a very slight difference. Doesn't really matter. And 3 Garbodor with Garbotoxin. This is, because so many abilities are in the format right now, so this is such a good card, for the deck. 1 Hoopa EX to get your, sorry, there's a train. Really, train? To get your Yveltal EXs out faster. And 1 normal Hoopa, because it's immune to EXs and GXs. If you're playing the 3rd Lele and 3 Yveltal, you will want to change the Hoopa to an Yveltal with Oblivion Wing. That was better when I tested it like that. You don't really want to play Hoopa if you only have 3 Yveltal EX. But if you play 4, you definitely want to play Hoopa. 4 Ultra Ball to get Pokemon out faster. Also, the Hoopa is really just a tech, like, it doesn't have to be the Hoopa. But I think it's good because it's immune to EXs and GXs, so. 4 Max Elixir. Just to get energy acceleration and stuff. Super good. 4 Fury Belt, to make your Yveltal EXs, more HP. With this, a Gardevoir player needs 7 energy. Or, I guess, 7 between the 2 Pokemon to one-shot you. So, yeah, that's pretty darn good. 4 Floatstone, mostly for your Hoopa and your Garbodors. One thing that you don't want to do is use Hoopa as a solution to Gardevoir when you have Garbodor out, because Hoopa's ability is negated. So, just be careful about that. That's one problem I see with Hoopa. And only 1 Field Blower, because there's not really space for another one. If you do want a second, I would take out a double Colorless energy, but that's just my preference. 1 Super Rod to shuffle anything you need back in. You don't really need Rescue Stretcher. It doesn't really help that much, so I just prefer to play Super Rod. 4 N and 4 Sycamore. I'm actually thinking about cutting an N for an Yveltal, because the 4N is a little clunky, but I like it, if that makes sense. 4 Guzma is also very necessary because, like, with this deck, it doesn't do the best against a lot of attackers. Like, it doesn't do very good damage against Golisopod, so you want to use Guzma a lot in those matches. And then also a Fan Club and an Acerola. I prefer Fan Club because you can get it and use Hoopa. Like, you can get, like, a Hoopa EX and an Yveltal EX. Hoopa for 3 more Yveltal EXs, and your Pokemon are already set up. That's especially good if you like start a Trubbish and attach a Floatstone, because then next turn you basically just are completely set up. And one Acerola, just because like if you're in a really tight spot, you can pick up an Yveltal. I think I might cut an N for another Acerola, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, for energies, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Dark, and 4 DCE. The DCE isn't that important because it does help a Gardevoir player out a lot. So if you're struggling to play against Gardevoir, I would drop a DCE for probably an Acerola, or maybe like another Trubbish or something, I don't know. But I really like this deck, and I'm so glad that this deck can function in this format, because I'm very surprised. And if we had Magnetic Storm, I would totally play that. But it's not standard anymore, so we can't play it, which is a little bit unfortunate, but hey, oh well. I'm still trying to figure out if there's a way to sneak a Steel Attacker in this deck. I tested out, like, Rainbow Energy and a bunch of other techs, and I hated that version. And I almost stopped testing it, but I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, there might be a viable Steel Attacker that you could put in this deck, besides Jirachi, but I'm not sure what that could be, because I can't think of anything that would be viable like that. But who knows? Also, another thing that you might want to do is maybe take out, like, the Hoopa EX and a Hoopa for a Eevee and an Umbreon. I tested that a little bit, and that was a decent version, but I just really like the Hoopa better. If you're playing the Umbreon version, I would cut an Yveltal for Lele. Again, pretty much if you don't play the Hoopa EX, you should only play 3 Yveltal and play an extra Lele or something. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of a long one, but just explaining how the deck works in detail, because I hope that this deck becomes popular again, because I miss this deck. And, yeah. So, leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content. Bye-bye.